If you ever find an abandoned house deep in the forest, promise me one thing. Don't go inside. John and Sarah had just moved into their new home, right next to a sprawling forest. One afternoon, they decided to explore a trail that seemed untouched. The deeper they walked, the quieter the forest became, as if the trees themselves were holding their breath. Then they saw it, a house. Old, weathered, and covered in moss, it stood alone in the middle of the woods. The door was slightly open, creaking in the wind. Curiosity got the better of them, and they stepped inside. The air was cold and heavy, filled with the smell of damp wood and decay. Dust coated everything, and faint water dripped somewhere deep inside. On the table, they found a book. Its pages were filled with strange symbols they couldn't understand. One passage was circled in red ink. "If you hear knocking, don't open the door." Sarah whispered, "We should leave." But before they could turn back, they heard it. Knock, knock. They froze. The sound wasn't coming from the front door, but deeper inside the house. It grew louder, more deliberate. Knock, knock. Suddenly, the door they entered slammed shut. The walls seemed to pulse as shadows stretched and twisted, forming long, spindly hands reaching for them. Panicking, they bolted for the door. John kicked it open, and they stumbled back into the forest. When they looked back, the house was gone, replaced by trees and moss. Breathing heavily, they ran home, locking the doors behind them. But as they sat in silence, trying to process what had just happened, they heard it again. Knock, knock. This time it came from inside their own house. Some doors should never be opened, and some mysteries will follow you home.